Have you ever imagined yourself climbing into a giant walking machine? A machine that feels like an extension of your own body, 10 times bigger, 100 times stronger? Well, that's a mech. The word mech is short for mechanical, and it describes a very specific kind of vehicle. It's a piloted robot usually shaped like a person's arms and legs. A pilot sits inside, often in a cockpit located in the chest or the head, and controls its every move. These aren't just remote-controlled drones. The pilot is right there in the heart of the action, making the machine punch, walk, jump. It's the ultimate power-up. Even if you've never heard the word mech, I can almost guarantee you've seen one before. They are everywhere in popular culture, stomping their way across our screens in movies, television shows, video games. They have become a staple of science fiction. Filmmakers love them because they create an incredible sense of scale and spectacle. When a massive mech walks through a city, you can feel the ground shake. These machines are the perfect way to show a futuristic battle, an incredible feat of engineering. They are visual shorthand for the future is here, and it is awesome. In the world of television, especially animation, mechs are legendary. Japanese anime, in particular, is the cradle of mech culture. Shows from the 1970s and the 80s introduced entire generations to the concept of piloted robots. These weren't just simple cartoons. They were epic sagas about war, honor, humanity's future. The mechs were characters in their own right, each with a unique design and personality. These shows proved that a story about giant robots could be dramatic, emotional. When you talk about famous mechs, there are a few names that stand out as true icons of the genre. These are the machines that defined what a mech could be and inspired countless others. First on that list for many people would be the Gundams from the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Specifically, the original RX-78-2 Gundam is legendary. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol of hope in a massive interstellar war. With its classic white, blue, red, and yellow color scheme, V-shaped fin on its head, and beam saber, its design is instantly recognizable to fans all over the world. It set the standard for the real robot genre. Then you have the giant robots from a completely different universe, the Jaegers from the movie Pacific Rim. These things are on another level of scale entirely. They are skyscraper-sized machines designed to wrestle with equally massive kaiju monsters. The most famous Jaeger is Gypsy Danger, an American-made, nuclear-powered brawler. What makes the Jaeger so cool and unique is the drift system. So, what is it about mechs that captures our imagination so completely? I think a huge part of the appeal is the ultimate sense of power and scale they give us. As humans, we're relatively small and fragile. The idea of climbing into a machine that makes you 50 feet tall and gives you the strength to lift a tank. It's a fantasy that speaks to a very basic human desire to be stronger, bigger, more capable than we are. When a mech punches another mech, you feel the impact in your bones. It's a visceral thrill that you just don't get from watching a spaceship battle. Beyond just raw power, there's also the element of control and skill. Piloting a mech isn't portrayed as being easy. It requires training reflexes and a deep connection with the machine. This makes the pilot a hero, an ace who has mastered a complex piece of technology. We love stories about skilled individuals, whether they're race car drivers, fighter pilots, or sharpshooters. A mech pilot is all of those things rolled into one. The cockpit, with its dozens of screens, levers, and pedals, becomes a sacred space. It represents the pinnacle of human-machine interface, and we can't help but be excited by the thought of mastering it ourselves. While the 100-foot-tall city-defending mechs of fiction are still a long way off, the core concept is already taking shape in the real world. The most direct descendants are powered exoskeletons. These are wearable robotic frameworks designed to augment the user's strength and endurance. Companies like Sarcos Robotics have developed suits like the Guardian XO, which allows a worker to lift 200 pounds repeatedly without fatigue. These aren't for fighting monsters. They're for logistics, construction, manufacturing. They reduce workplace injuries and allow a single person to do the work of several, which is exactly what a practical mech should do. The inspiration also extends to vehicles that don't look exactly like people but function in a similar way. Think about advanced forestry machines that can walk on spider-like legs to cross uneven terrain with minimal environmental impact. Or consider the walking excavators, sometimes called spider excavators, that can reposition their legs to stabilize themselves on steep hillsides where a wheeled or tracked vehicle could never go. These machines embody the mech principle of using legs for superior mobility in complex environments. They solve real-world problems by mimicking the way living creatures move, just on a much larger and more powerful scale. We're even seeing companies build machines that look like they've walked straight out of a science fiction movie. A few startups in Japan